Okay, we're here at Cage Warriors 48, and I'm joined by the two voices of Cage Warriors, Josh Palmer and John Gooden. Guys, it's great to have you here.
It's good to be here, and it's good to welcome you onto the team, sir.
Yeah,
a very valuable addition.
It's obviously a landmark show for Cage Warriors because it's my first show, nothing to do with the 10th anniversary at all. It's my first Cage Warriors show, it's an honour and pleasure to be here. So I guess I'll come to you first then, John. Your Cage Warriors story, how did it all get started for you, and how do you like being part of the Cage Warriors family?
First, it was purely by luck. I was working on a local show and came across Graham Borden through the MMA clinic. And after visiting the gym and checking out some of his fighters, he asked if I was freelance, and it kind of just went from there. So I did the first MMA clinic show right here, actually, at the Kentish Town Forum. Obviously did an okay job, and I've just been part of the setup since then.
And they've not got rid of you yet?
Not yet. I'm still here. I'm still here.
And you're here with this man, obviously. How about you? How did it all come to be that you're one of the voices of Cage Warriors?
It's not a massively dissimilar story to John's. I was working a local show down in Southend, and a friend of mine happened to have a clash with a date when Graham asked him to take on commentary duties. So he recommended me and had a chat with Graham, and here we are 15 shows later. So.
And a partnership was formed.
A beautiful partnership. A match made in heaven, you might say.
Yeah, well, some might say.
So, what's the best part about being a Cage Warriors commentator? Obviously, the travel's the main one, but is there anything else that stands out for you? As when you walk home at the end of the day, you think, yeah, this is awesome.
Yeah, I mean, aside from the fact that obviously you get to see some great fights up close, really it's the sense of family and the sense of motivation you get with the people involved in the crew. Exactly, John. Thank you very much. No, I mean it really is a group of people who love what they do. Everybody loves the sport, and you can't help but come to one of these shows, catch up with everybody, and just instantly feel more energized, more invigorated, and just happy to be a part of the whole thing. And everybody just wants to push their own little bit forward and keep improving every single time. So as a whole, the show just keeps getting better and better.
Absolutely. In terms of great fights, obviously, you can throw a stone at a Cage Warriors card and you're always going to land in a great fight. I mean, what especially over the past 15 shows that you've done, what have been some of your standout fights, John, that you've had the pleasure to commentate on?
Oh, you would have to throw that one on me. I think some of the early shows that I did in Cork, they were good. There were some real bloodbaths down there. One of the Malco brothers, I think Yuri Malco, was involved in something. Tom Sullivan, was it? I think he spilt some blood. That was pretty interesting. I love the grassroots stuff as well, and I love women's MMA. Some of Rosie Sexton's performances are they're groundbreaking, and to keep seeing the constant evolvement of the sport, evolution, I think is the word. Sorry, and just these fighters keep coming. Where are they coming from? I don't know, but it's brilliant.
It's crazy, actually. Rosie Sexton was on the first ever Cage Warriors card, and we've actually got the canvas downstairs from that first Cage Warriors card, and she's going to be fighting again in a couple of months' time. So great to see Rosie as part of the organisation for such a long time. I mean, there's been so many great fighters from the UK and indeed international fighters that have really made a name for themselves on Cage Warriors. Who are a couple of the standout ones for you over the years? We've obviously got the likes of Michael Bisping in the UFC, but who are the couple of the standout fighters for you who've really made a name for themselves on the back of Cage Warriors?
I mean, there have been some guys who perhaps haven't quite hit that next level and had the exposure, but have always put on fantastic performances time and time again for Cage Warriors, and they bring a certain charisma and a certain personality with them, and that for me is guys like Paul McVeigh, who I think is still our bantamweight champion currently. Guys like him, they come to entertain, to fight, they put on a show, but they're incredibly talented and technically proficient with it, and they're the type of guys you just love watching fight every time out.
And in terms of the guys that we're seeing now, some of the young guys we're coming up, for example, Charlie Watts we've got on this show, but a lot of people talk about him as a potential star of the future. Who's one of your picks maybe for someone that will be sitting at the 20th anniversary of Cage Warriors talking about what a big star they've become?
I think we've got to look at the fact that Charlie Watts is an Arsenal fan and I'm an Arsenal fan, so I will echo that.
Well, no one's perfect.
There's also Ollie Battelle, who is an Arsenal fan and I'm an Arsenal fan, so I've got to champion him. Chris Edwards today, despite whatever might happen, he's a young guy coming up. He's definitely going to be a mainstay in the sport. It's so vast, Cage Warriors. We're in so many different corners of the globe, it seems, that there's such a vast amount of people to start thinking about. And sometimes you don't realise how young they are. I mean, Victor Cheng's probably still in his 20s. and he's still got a lot of work to do. He's got places to go, and we've been calling over guys from the States as well. So, listen, there's so much product coming through Cage Warriors at the moment that will be around for a long time, and hopefully these guys are going to be big stars as well.
Fantastic. Well, hopefully see you guys in 10 years' time for the 20th anniversary of Cage Warriors. Until then, you guys have got some important stuff to do, so we'll let you go. The voices of Cage Warriors, John Gooden and Josh Palmer, ladies and gentlemen.